Hi, my name is Daria. In this video, I will present you some major steps of model operationalization with Azure ML platform. I will concentrate on working with a trained model and working with a reusable machine learning pipeline. Let's take a look how to work with the model produced by an AutoML run. The first thing we can do is to retrieve the model, register it, and download the output files. The model we've just registered can be found in Machine Learning Studio in Models section. Just notice that I have registered two versions. I execute my notebook on the remote compute, so I can go through my downloaded files in my Jupyter workspace. Now I will deploy the model using Azure SDK. So I'm preparing several configurations, a deployment configuration to Azure Container Instances, an inference configuration using curated Azure ML environment, and the scoring script produced by AutoML. Once deployment succeeded, we can get the information about the service directly from the service instance. For example, scoring URI or service logs. If we go to Machine Learning Studio, we can find our model web service in the Real-Time Endpoints tab of the Endpoint section. In Consume tab, we can find all the necessary information to consume the model endpoint. Let's interact with the model web service from the local machine. In this Python script, we activate application insights and get the service logs. We'll also get the scoring URI and the Swagger URI. So let's go ahead and run our Python script from the command line within the Python virtual environment with Azure SDK inside it. And voila, I have the logs and the URIs. The next step is to call the scoring URI from a Python script. I define the key value used for authorization and the data consisting of two items. The HTTP post request is made using requests HTTP library. I copied the value of the scoring URI from the output of my Jupyter notebook and the authorization key value from the Consume tab. And we get two results, yes and no for two items respectively. Now it's Swagger time. I enter the value of the primary key as the authorization header value. My Swagger URI instance uses the Swagger configuration of the model endpoint, and the API calls point to the model endpoint exposed by Azure. So I'm calling the scoring URI with the data I prepared using Swagger UI interface. Once the scoring request is executed, we can see the details in the interface, the request in the curl section and the response, which is yes. We can go further and look at ML pipelines. So I will quickly go through the Jupyter notebook where I work with the pipeline. First I set Azure ML kernel, and now I can run my notebook starting with creating my workspace, the experiment, continuing with creating the compute and the dataset. When everything is ready, I can create my pipeline. The pipeline consists of only one AutoML step, which I configured using AutoML config and configured the step outputs, which are the best model and the metrics. I submitted the pipeline using experiment object, and once the pipeline is completed, I can examine the results. Here we can go through the variety of metrics corresponding to the best model. Later we can retrieve the best model, download it, look into the model details, and then get even more details about the best model steps. To publish the pipeline, we must use the completed pipeline run. Once published, we can find our pipeline in Machine Learning Studio in Pipeline Endpoints. My pipeline endpoint is active, so I can call it and trigger a new pipeline run. I get the run ID from the response, so now I can monitor my new run through Run Details Jupyter Notebook widget. Otherwise, I can consult the details of the triggered run in Machine Learning Studio. And thank you for watching. This video is created as a part of Machine Learning Engineer with Microsoft Azure Nanodegree Program by Udacity.